All right, good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is having a great morning today. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Our stock list yesterday looked amazing, so hopefully you're able to capitalize on some of the great moves we had yesterday in the from the pre-market from the watch list that we build into the open. So Norm, I believe, is traveling today, so he will not be joining us. All right, good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is having a great morning today. If hope you had a great day yesterday. He's also traveling, but he might try to join us as well. Hey, Peter, I see you're on.
Morning, Carlo.
Make sure I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully you can hear me. We'll see how this mic goes.
Yep. No, you sound pretty good. Pretty good. Really good, actually. So no issues there.
Excellent.
All right, guys. So let's get into it. We have a very light gappers list today. As you can see, only 3 tickers on here. I am shocked that BYND is not on this gappers list. I might have to restart my computer, make sure this is correct, because this stock has been, as we know, just crazy. So we'll look into what it's doing today. As usual, we'll go over this list in a second. We'll go over our NASDAQ active, NASDAQ gainers as well. Let's get into our watch list for yesterday. This was our main watch list up here. These were just some possibles I had here, as Microsoft was at all-time high as well. Nvidia had a great day also, and V also popped up as well during the mid-morning. Had a great run also. So let's look into our main watch list, starting with BYND at the top here. Let's get our chart zooming into what is going on. So again, BYND hitting some all-new all-time highs here at 202. And you can see here at the pre-market was very active. We're watching this as it just kept continuing to just make it some really good moves, some really good volume. At the open though, I suspected this was going to happen. There was tons of people just taking profit. I mean, if you held this overnight, you were up what, $20 more or so from the last day being up $40 or so. So it's just been on a nice little up run. Here it's just sold off and never looked back, right? Just kind of people taking their profits. Became a really good opening range breakdown on the 5-minute, right? So if you had shares for short, which I know some people didn't, it's very difficult to find shares for short on this ticker. Clearly here, nice pullback right up to VWAP on this opening range. Here's your indication to go short on the way down while it's leaving VWAP. And then you can see it does a little nice drop towards the low of the pre-market, also passing the low of the previous candle. And then it finds the 9 EMA on the 5, and it really writes down the 9 really nice here on this moving average. It breaks down through the 200 and heads right down towards some daily levels we have here, this one here and this one here. So again, just a beautiful short. If you was able to get in on this one, if you had shares for short, this was a nice short opportunity. Snap, as usual, is very choppy and difficult to trade. In the morning, Andrew took several stabs at this one. He actually took one stab on here, got a really good entry. It popped up nicely, and he knows how this stock trades and how choppy it can be, so he immediately took profits off and got it off his got his position out, because again, it's just can be very choppy. And look, you can see it right on here. Again, doesn't look as choppy now, but if you're looking at this price action closely, you can see just the choppiness of Snap. It finally did settle in about 30 minutes later into the day, found the 9 moving average on the 5, and it wrote that up nicely, right? So there's a really nice uptrend. But again, you can tell, looking close, you can tell in some areas where it just kind of loses momentum, not as much volume. And again, it's just unless you have a great entry and it starts moving your direction, it can be very difficult to get in here and hold for a couple of minutes while it decides what it wants to do next. But it turned out to be a very good trade on this nice moving average here that I found on the 5. And usually we see this a lot after a stock runs up for quite a bit of some time on the 9. They usually lose the 9. They might come back and test the 20. So be careful with that. If you're in at a good entry, use the 9 as a possible area of support, but know that it can come down and test the 20 and then head right back up. Don't go short once it loses the 9. Wait for a good clean confirmation before going short, trying to take a reverse on any of those type of strategies. Tesla was an amazing opening range breakup, guys. This one, again, you couldn't ask for a better trade. It has an ABCD pattern on the 1. You got your A, you got your B, you got your C, and your D right up here. Here's the support that it found. We actually went over this in class 4 last night, strategies of day trading. So we'll add this example because it's a very clean example. Andrew took this in this area here once it found support, and he was able to capitalize on this amazing move. So you got an ABCD pattern on the 1, but usually these we talk about, there's within ABCD patterns, they usually start off at the open with a good beautiful opening range breakup, right? So here's your opening range on the 5. Again, some people like to use the wicks. I like to use the body of the candles. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Just the wicks require a little more room when it comes to your stop loss, right? So the body here comes down, you get the pullback that you're looking for. Here's indication to go long, and on the way up you can see it breaking the high and just heading nicely over to these daily levels we had here. We had 234 from our daily level that we looked at in the pre-market yesterday, so it comes right up there, and now you can see that 234 is you have a dotted red line there now, which is probably the high from yesterday. We'll look at that later on. From there, it sells off nicely right back down to VWAP. Again, it's a false VWAP reversal here. Once it cannot make a new 5-minute high, we talked about that last night as well. Comes right back down to VWAP. And then, again, another strategy right in here. I'm focusing a lot on this one because a lot going on with Tesla. Was very active. Loses VWAP, right? Comes below VWAP, cannot hold it, and then loses VWAP, becomes a beautiful trend trade following the 9 EMA. So several trades on here. You got opening range, ABCD pattern, false VWAP breakout, and then a loss of VWAP. So just 3 really nice strategies you can trade here depending on your style. We have Facebook also beautiful opening range breakdown. So you had this nice candle here creating the range. You have the second 5-minute candle coming up here, selling down nicely. Andrew took this also for a great short, and it comes right down to these levels, breaking a new low of the day. Doesn't quite get to this moving average. That was the target, this moving average, but again, you really got a nice little drop here to take profits. Then you get the next candle cannot make a new low, comes right back to VWAP. That was also a good reversal. He was able to catch that, which is not easy to do, guys. This reversal here, you got to be very fast to catch these. And then again, another one where it just finds the 9 moving average and becomes a beautiful trend trade towards the bottom once it cannot go above VWAP. So again, just got a lot of great trades yesterday. Here's MGI, and this one is not a low flow stock, although it has a lower price. It is a mid flow stock. Again, just a beautiful open range breakdown. You have your range here. Here's the pullback that you're looking for. Right, that's your signal to go short on this. Once it comes up to VWAP, cannot continue to make a newer high. You get in for the crack of the low of this body here towards the targets. You got several targets on here, right? You're in around 340. You want to get to 319, which is very close to the low of the pre-market, I believe. And then we also had a level from the daily chart, but I believe that's the low of the pre-market. Heading down, you had another level. We had another level at 225, a very clean level. So it heads right to there, another possible area, and hopefully you can get to this moving average. You get close enough to take profits there. So again, a lot of clean moves. AMD also an amazing opening range breakup as well. On the 10-minute, you have this clear range happening here. You also have an engulfing pattern happening, right? You have this red candle coming down. The next candle engulfs the previous candle completely. This is a good entry for long, as you can see here, is heading up towards the top. Again, this is a strong signal, a reverse signal for a long or a short. And you can see here how the volume comes in and it takes off nicely. So again, AMD also trading very well yesterday as well. And we have plenty, guys. I'm not going to go through all of these just for the sake of time, but look at this one here. Microsoft, again, engulfing the previous candle, takes off. NVIDIA also trading well. Beautiful opening range breakup as well. Look, you see this here taking off nice. Look at the 1 minute, how clean that was as well. We have, I'm not sure how, I didn't watch Roku. Roku looks like a good opening range breakdown as well. It took some time to get going. You had to be patient, had a good entry here, set your stop loss above VWAP, and then you get this beautiful, nice drop. BHVN, someone called this out in the chat. I think it was very active, but again, didn't really do much. It was active in the pre-market, but it was down 40%, but the pre-market action wasn't great. And you can see also the opening wasn't great neither. And then we have V hit our scanners as well. You can see here it became very active around this area, but again, not really as clean as our watch list that we had. All right, folks, so that is what we have from yesterday. Peter, what do you have for news for us? Do you have anything happening today, anything major going on that we should be aware of?
Yeah, well, first, guys, let me know if we have any sound issues, and I'll see if I can fix them. But if I look across the world in the markets, everything is pretty flat globally. The futures around the world, some up, some down, but everything hovering sort of around the flat mark. This afternoon, we do have a Fed Reserve meeting. I think it starts at 2, but I'm not sure exactly what the schedule of activities is. So watch for that sort of mid-afternoon, because as we know, if you've ever traded through those, things can jump around when you have the speeches go on and the computers and the markets react to that. Other than that, as you said, pretty light gappers list. I've got a couple of other things that aren't on your gappers, but we'll get to those in a couple of minutes.
Excellent. All right, guys, so let's get into what we have in our gappers list here. So let's start off with, for first deleting these, making some little room here. All right, we have AXTA. So what's going on with this one? AXTA, it is up 15%, 381,000 shares traded so far. Not a low flow. No, it's a 234 million shares flow, so not a low flow. Pre-market action looks doesn't look great right now, guys. It does have some volume, 381,000 shares traded, but the pre-market activity itself is looking pretty flat. I don't want to say it looks like a buyout, but it's not looking great. Peter, anything that we have on this one that's causing this gap up of 15%, or is it just market activity?
No, you were close to it. I mean, it's only rumors of a buyout. They've said that they're investigating a sale, but they don't actually have a suitor yet. So we'll see what happens, because that could be one where the breaking news again will cause spikes depending on what the market thinks of whoever they find to buy them out. So be very cautious if you want to try and trade AXTA.
Yeah, let's be very cautious with that. Again, it doesn't sound like we will say, it doesn't sound like funding is secured yet, or the sale is not secure. So don't go crazy on this one just yet. Again, just the pre-market activity doesn't look too great right now. So we'll keep an eye on it. The daily chart though, it's all right. Doesn't look like it got some stuff going on here. It doesn't look great though. Something about this daily chart doesn't look too amazing. I can't pinpoint it. So we'll see. We'll keep it on here for now. Next we have X. X, guys, is a stock that again trades very, very choppy. We traded plenty of times before in the past. You want to be careful with it. 231,000 shares traded right now, in a horrible pre-market action at the moment. So again, not anything that looks attractive at all. Up only 4.3 at the moment. In the daily chart, you can see how this daily chart is. Again, it does have some drop here, some kind of ranges, a nice flow to it. But if you look closely into the intraday trading of this stock, which we watched plenty of times before in the past, it's really not clean. So this is my concern with this one. So we'll keep it on here for now. But again, pre-market action looks horrendous. Really, this is not anything you want to trade. And the reason why this looks bad, guys, is because again, you could just see the pure choppiness of these wicks and candles, right? There's nothing clean about this at all. So here we have RIO. So the next one up. Also 318,000 shares traded. It is down 4.2 at the moment. Pre-market activity looks better than what we've seen so far on both of our other stocks. And again, this one doesn't even look great neither. And I believe this is a foreign stock as well. Yeah, here it is. Here's the daily chart. So again, nothing great here neither, guys. This is a foreign stock. It trades very choppy. You can just see on this daily chart here how nasty that is. So good morning, Norm. Norm is in the chat room. He chose the best day to travel because of right now there's not much going on. And you're traveling too, Peter, right? Where you're located right now?
Yeah, I'm in Kitchener, Ontario, so middle of nowhere.
Excellent, excellent. Good place to be in a day like this.
The mining stocks. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I was going to say the mining stocks all seem to be having some movement here. There's a couple of conflicting pieces of news out there. So Rio Vale, VALE, and BHP Billiton, if you trade any of those are sort of the world's three largest miners. They're all sort of moving a little bit this morning. Nothing major, though. Iron ore prices seem to be spiking with a sudden fear of supply and demand. But there's been some production issues at a number of mines, so I don't think they're really worth watching. They're always very tough to trade. Yeah,
this one I recall actually because they had an issue. Some news broke out when they had gas. Yeah, it was on this day here. This is why our levels are showing around this area. They had a huge red day and a huge gap down. And this is when it came in our radar. I think they had some kind of accident or something back then, and you can see the volume was very, very nice. So again, it traded well here with some very extreme news, but overall, this stock does not trade clean at all, guys. So again, we'll be careful with this one. Also, we'll keep it on here for now, just in case we get something that looks amazing at the open. But right now, again, even the pre-market action is not looking too great at all. It's got some volume though, 668,000 shares traded, but the pre-market action not looking great. All right, let's go through our NASDAQ active, NASDAQ gainers, and then we'll look into some of our favorites. AMD, MU, JD, Roku, Beyond the Me is also on that list since lately it's been extremely active. So here we have MLNT. So MLNT with some good volume, 2.4 million shares traded right now. You can see it's very active in this pre-market. What is the flow on this bad boy? What do we have here? So it is a low flow. Figure 8 million shares flow. Yeah, so you want to be careful with this one. Any news on this, Peter, that's causing this to run up this morning?
Yeah, they got FDA approval on a drug, so that's what's causing the spike here this morning.
Okay, excellent. All right, so again, some really good volume right now. 2.5 million shares traded and climbing. Looks like it might want to crack 4. Daily chart looks like you have a nice gap here that looks trying to close. You also have some good daily levels you can find here for the low flow team. So if you watch low floats, this is a good one today. It's very active. You got some really good volume. Again, it's all about risk management, guys. So against a lower price, a lower float, be very careful if you're trading this one today. Next we have, as we know, penny stocks, so we'll skip this one. SESN, also 2.0 million shares traded. It's got quite a bit of shares traded. Is this a low float? Let's check here. No, it's actually a mid-flow stock, so it is not a low flow, but it is a lower price stock. Usually, you want to be careful with these anyways. Although this one is not a low flow. It's got a good pre-market action right now. It's dropping nicely. Again, 2 million shares traded so far, down 33%. So that's quite a bit. You can see on the daily here, they got a nice big drop. So I'm going to put it next to this low flow one here. Again, SESN is not a low flow. But again, it's a riskier stock just because how low the price is. So you want to be careful on the number of shares you take on this stock here. Next, we have SLSS, also a penny stock. We'll skip that one. MGI was active yesterday, I believe. Yes. This was active yesterday, gapping up quite a bit here. See what it's doing today. Today's got some activity, 931,000 shares traded so far. Pre-market action doesn't look great, but this trade very good at the open. So I'm going to watch this one. It was a beautiful open range breakdown. This is not a low flow neither, guys. MGI, I believe, is 100. Nope, a little less, 30 million shares flow. So it's not a low flow. They had some news of a possible somebody investing some heavy dollars into them. So as you can see here, that caused a nice little pop up yesterday. So let's see what we can get today. Some kind of continuation. We do have shares for short on this stock. Pre-market action is not looking great, but we can hopefully expect some movement out of this. CLALA pre-market action right now. We got some movement, 475,000 shares traded. Daily chart is horrible though. I do not like the daily. Let's see what the flow is on this. 34 million shares flow. So it's not a low flow, but this daily chart does not look great at all, guys. I don't like the way this daily chart looks here. The drop is nice, 15.8 on the drop. Pre-market action is looking okay. It's got some volume, but it's not creating a nice flow yet. It's a little early, so hopefully it can get better. I'm going to throw it down here as it's a lower price as well. We'll take a look at it. It looks like we have a lot of lower price stocks that are not low flow on the move today. Here we have AMD. We suspect that AMD, the MUs of the world, are going to be choppy until this 2 o'clock call happens, right? So again, it's one of those days we want to be very, very careful. We got a nice great day yesterday with a lot of movers. I think that was a great day to take advantage. It was surprised that we had such a great day, given that we have these meetings coming up at 2 and these calls. So again, very cautious and careful, and not making sure you're not forcing anything. We have FRSX, also some good volume, 277,000 shares traded. Pre-market action does not look great though. It looks more of a penny stock that's probably breaking out of $1. So I'm just gonna skip that one. Here we go, Beyond the Meat. Let's see what is happening with Beyond the Meat here. So huge sell-off yesterday after hitting all-time highs at 202. So again, just a lot of people just taking profits, guys. Don't be fooled by this stock. We've seen it drop like this and then recover nicely. So if you're swing trading or something like that, this is probably not a stock you want to go short. It's been very, very strong over the last couple of days. I honestly believe this is just a lot of profit taken here. Again, you're sitting anywhere in this area at $100 and you're up $100 more dollars. It's a good time to call it in and cash some stuff in. So here, pre-market action doesn't look great. Again, this is one of those stocks that trades very, very choppy. Yesterday, the sell-off was clean, but you want to be very careful. The ATR is huge on this. Let me see what it is now. Now it's at 21.65. So yesterday, the day before was at 15. Yesterday was at 19, and now it's at 21.65. So it just keeps climbing. All right. So next, what do we have? We have Facebook. Facebook traded amazing yesterday. Facebook right now actually has a decent pre-market action, has some good activity, 218,000 shares traded. Nice big drop on Facebook. I'm gonna put Facebook on here because I think Facebook could have a continuation of a nice day today. MLNT, we have FRSX. We looked at penny stock, not trading very well. No good here. ESTR, penny stock as well, nothing to look at here. ARCT, nothing happening. SPHS, also nothing going on here neither. AKTX, we used to trade this before in the past. Right now, not doing much, no volume, and a very horrible pre-market action. KERN, nothing happening there. Myos as well, not much going on. And last one on this column, EDSA, also looking very, very crappy. All right, folks, let's check what you guys have. Peter, anything else you have besides the ones you mentioned already that you have on your list?
No, you covered everything that I had on my list.
All right, excellent. So let's see what you guys have on your end. Maybe anything that we have not talked about yet. So XTA, I'm assuming you mean AXTX, right? Yep, so that one we looked at. We'll check that one out. MLNT we have, okay. Snap, we'll look at Snap. All right, let's start with the top over here. So we have ADBE. All right, so ADBE is getting some volume, 109,000 shares traded. It should be popping. Oh, here we go. I figure once it goes above that 100,000, it'll pop up into our scanners here. So up 4.9. What is the news on ADBE? It's up quite a bit here. Daily chart seems to be a little all over the place a bit, but what's going on with them?
Yeah, they posted their quarterly earnings and they beat analyst forecasts, so that's what's causing the jump here.
All right, we'll throw them on here. Pre-market action looks okay, not great, guys. So again, it's one of those days where a lot of stuff is not looking great. Is this all-time high here where they had it before? I think it is.
My experience on watching Adobe, it doesn't trade very well. It's one of those weird, software tech stocks that just I've never liked the way it moves. So I would just say be careful with it because it can jump around a bit.
Yeah, and you can tell a lot of that also by the daily chart. I mean, the daily chart is not looking too clean, right? You have some flow to this, coming down, coming up, but again, it's just not looking too clean. So not great. It is at all-time highs though, right in here. So it looks like this is the all-time highs, trying to maybe crack out of that. So we'll see what it does there. Next we have Apple. Let's see what Apple's doing. Apple's probably pretty flat. Yeah, pretty flat right now on Apple. So not much going on. Again, I think a lot of chop is going to happen at the open, guys. Just waiting for 2 p.m. to get there. 3M here. Let's see what's going on with these guys. Also, no volume on 3M at the moment. Next we have BA. Let's see what BA has. BA has a little more volume here. Actually, I had a big day yesterday. Nice big day yesterday. So very interesting daily chart, guys. I think today you can get some kind of continuation going here. So again, a very nice strong day. Actually, 2 strong days, right? Broke out here and also continue that yesterday. So very interesting daily chart on BA. Again, you're reaching an area of consolidation. You had a couple of that's too big. Area consolidation you had a couple of weeks ago, a month or 2 ago, right in here. So you're reaching that area. We can find support and resistance in this area. If it breaks out of that, it could be a really strong move. So BA has an interesting daily chart, a little over on the expensive side for me. But if you're watching this one, this looks really good on the daily for a possible breakout. All right. What else? Yeah, Dan. It's not all-time high now. I figured the all-time high was is nearing it, right? The all-time high for Adobe will be the last spike we have here, right? This area we're talking about this area here. After this, I didn't find anything that was higher, so I'm assuming that's the all-time high, very close to it. So, yep, 291.71, excellent. All right, guys. All right, so let's go over some announcements. Peter, if you want to go over any announcements we have for the week. I know we have some stuff going on there. Abio has posted a lot of these in our announcements as well. So we're just going to go over and give you guys an update on what's happening.
Yeah, well, look, coming up most imminently, we've got Montreal. So the Trader Summit is happening on Saturday. So it's finally here. I can't believe it's almost the end of June already. But hopefully, some of you will be able to join us in Montreal for the Trader Summit, where Andrew will be presenting. I think his topic is risk management. So I know he's been putting a lot of thought into it. So that'll be good, as well as the rest of the speakers. That's all day Saturday. Prior to that, on the Friday night in Montreal, we're buying everybody drinks who shows up. So if you're able to join us at the Trois Brasseurs, the 3 Brasseurs is sort of the English way to say that, I guess. In Montreal, you can join us for a drink. We can talk stocks. It's actually those meetups are always great. So this is a BBT meetup. You don't have to be a member. Bring your spouse, bring your friend, bring anybody who's curious. We like to sort of just talk to people who are interested in talking stocks in the cities in which we visit. So that's in Montreal. The information's on our forum, and Abiel's posted it above where you can get all the details. So hopefully we will be able to see you in Montreal. After that, actually, it's a Wednesday workshop day today, too. So today, and this is going to be happening at, is this right, noon Eastern?
Yes.
I think it's William that's presenting today.
That's correct.
All right,
yep.
So William's going to talk about risk control. So it's like risk control week. So William will talk about risk controls, and Andrew's going to talk risk management on Saturday. So that's good. But anyways, that's in the classroom. So guys, it won't be here in this room. It'll be in our classroom, but you can open both at the same time. And yeah, jump over there at noon. Carlos did the first one as we reignited that series last week, and I think it's great. I'll be doing one next week. It's just a good little learning to sort of help you out in the middle of the day when things slow down. Tomorrow night, I think, is when we have our next class. So, Carlos, I think you're leading that class again. You've been busy all week with these classes, but
yes, class 5 will be
Thursday,
tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Class 5, risk management class 5. Yeah, so yeah, a lot of risk management going on this week.
The theme continues, so there you go. It's so we got the focus on risk management. Yeah, so that class will be happening at 8 o'clock Eastern, so market time again in the classroom. And I think I had one more thing I wanted to tell you guys about. What the heck was that? For our members, yes, of course. Coming up, we have Dr. Brett Steenbarger, who's going to be joining us. So we've fixed a date now. It's going to be Friday, July 26th. So mark your calendar. What we want you to do in advance, though, if you guys could help us out, we're looking for questions, right? We really want us to get the best questions to sort of give him a heads up and prepare for that session. So go into the forums. We've got a forum topic set up, the thread, and the link is up above. Abiel's posted that for us as well. And then join us on the 26th. Now, this is a BBT exclusive event, so only Bear Bull Traders members will have access to this. It's sort of a special event that we're doing. We're very happy that he's agreed to talk with us, and that should be a fantastic event. So mark your calendars, Friday, July 26th. I don't have a time for that. Have we set a time, guys, for when that's happening?
I want to say 12.
I don't know, but
I'm not 100% sure. So we'll get the time, but definitely the 26th. Just block out the whole day, guys. Don't worry about it.
There you go. Exactly. All right, and I think those are our announcements. The last thing I'll just say, guys, for market trading today, we do have that Fed announcement that's happening this afternoon. The markets always move when that happens. I just want you to be very aware. Set an alarm if you have to. Around 2 o'clock, really be vigilant, because if you're in a trade and it's going fantastically well, things can spike in a direction that you're not expecting. So just be really cautious if you're in or considering any trade between about 2, I would say, and 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock this afternoon, and we'll watch and see what happens on the news. So yeah, that's about it for announcements.
Okay, excellent. All right, guys, so let's get right into it. We have some more popping up into our gappers list here. So we have BBL, so we'll take a look at that. I also saw someone mention this one in the chat room. So BBL, let's see what's going on here. Oh, this is an ugly daily chart, guys. As you could tell, it's a foreign stock. You can tell just by the daily how many gaps we have in between here. Doesn't have much volume, and the pre-market action doesn't look great neither. So you want to avoid this one at the moment. So also look at the time in sales, how weird it is, right? Look at these small little orders. Again, just one that you really want to try to avoid. All right, folks. Let's get into our list here. Let's fine tune this a bit more. We have a lot on here, but a lot doesn't look great. Again, it's going to be one of those days where a lot of stock is just kind of waiting to see what's happening before they they take any type of direction or form. I expect it to be a very choppy morning, so I'm going to be cautious on any setups I take. And if I do take a setup and it's not a type A setup, I'm going to take half shares. So you can do that as well, right? You don't always got to go full size if things are not looking type A like setups, or don't trade at all. That's also an option. The decision not to trade is a very tough decision to make, and if you have to make that one today, please do so. All right, so AXTX. Again, guys, this pre-market action is not looking great. It's got some good volume here, but for me, for what I like to look for, it's just not looking like anything that is going to trade very well at the open. I will mark our high levels here. We got the high of the pre-market at 30.17. We got the low at 27.05. Nice little spike here on this date, 28. We'll mark that down, 28.42. Let's see what else we have in between here or above. Again, I'm marking our levels just in case it surprises, right? Because we can have a horrible pre-market action, and this thing can pop up into our turbo breakdown, turbo breakup, and give us a good opportunity for either open range breakdown, a breakup. So we want to be ready in case this thing pops up in our scanner. So we have another very clean level here, 30.89. You can see clearly how several days, really over a couple of 3-4 months, just testing that 30.89 in here and having a hard time breaking above that. Kind of stuck within this range between 30 and 30.17, and then finally breaks down, heads over to this next level, 28.42, and then we have another one here at 27. If you're joining us for the first time, you want to learn more about these levels, look up class 2 in our YouTube channel. So class 2, we talk about finding all these support and resistance. So I'm going to remove this one for now. I got my levels set. I'm going to remove it for at the moment. X is one that trades very choppy, so I'm probably not going to watch this one neither, but just in case, right, we can get surprised. Let's do some levels here, 15.36. Slightly above that, we have another level here, and then one all the way up here being tested by almost 2-3 days here of 16.92. So towards the bottom, you have a moving average coming in. You also have the high from yesterday, previous day close, and several lows of the 2 days ago here, plus some moving averages around 14. So I think you have plenty towards the bottom. Again, X can trade very choppy, guys. I'd rather watch something like a AMD or MU opposed to X, because even if they don't have a good pre-market action, I know that they can trade a lot cleaner than X can. So we'll get rid of X here. Rio is a foreign stock, guys. Again, just want to be very careful with this one. They have some news out today. I guess all the miners, right? The miner companies you mentioned, Peter. Is that correct?
Yeah, the mining firms. Yeah, anybody that mines iron ore seems to be having an impact because of supply and demand concerns.
Yeah. So here's the issue when you have this nasty daily chart, right? Where do you put your levels, right? This is what happens when you don't have a clean daily. I mean, you can put some maybe here, you can put, another one here. It's just not clean. So when you have something like that, how much weight do you give these levels when you don't clearly have a nice bounce from it showing some good support or resistance, right? So this is what makes it tough on these type of stocks. And they don't really trade very well. So I'm on the fence on Rio. Again, I'm not sure what the news is. I do have some levels here, low of the pre-market, 58.50, 57.77. 57.18, but again, these are not really very clean levels. I'm probably going to drop this off as I get closer into my fine-tuning my list. VALE, this one we traded before when it had a huge gap down on some news. Today their pre-market action is really all over the place, not looking clean, guys. So again, it's just might have the same fate as Rio. I might just remove it as well, just for the sake of being prepared. 14.12, high of the pre-market. Towards the top, here's a drop we were talking about. Here's when we traded. This was a nice big drop. It was down a lot after they had an accident in one of their minings, I believe it was. A few people had lost their lives, so that made a huge event on the news. So you got a 15.42 and you have 14.67. We'll mark those just to be prepared, guys, but I'm really not going to watch this one. It doesn't trade very well. Next we have MGI. So MGI, actually pre-market is starting to look okay. You're starting to get some activity here. It's got some volume though, 1 million shares traded so far. So this is starting to look very, very nice. I'm going to watch this one because this traded very clean yesterday. Had a beautiful pop. And if you look at if you were with us earlier today, we looked at how this traded, and it traded very, very clean. So I'm going to mark down low of the pre-market around 336. There we go, 336. We got the high of the pre-market right with the previous day closes, so I'm not going to mark that down. Towards the bottom, we got a moving average coming in here at around 293, so I'm going to mark that. And then here we have some days consolidating. I'm seeing if we can find a bottom of this consolidation. I think the best will be here around 315. So you have several days just between 340 where the price action is now and 315 just consolidating before you have the breakout towards the bottom. Another level here towards the top, guys. Look how this level, this 366, right? Look how this level is playing as resistance here, and then it also acted as some support yesterday as well. Look how the daily chart closes right on it. So I think plenty of levels here at MGI. Looks to be a little bit weak here. We do have shares for sure. It is not a low flow stock, guys. It's a $3 stock, $3.50 stock, but it's actually I think it's 30, right? We talked about it. Yeah, 30 million shares flow, so it is tradable. This is one that's you're not gonna lose your shirt on. Here we have AMD. AMD is very choppy, but I am going to watch AMD. Had a nice bounce day yesterday, and also with all the news going on today, it could be one that could be in play depending how things go at the open. Very clean level here, 31.93, guys. You have resistance that becomes then support. In here, you can see clear support around that same level, and then above that, you have another one right on here on this day, 33.11, and then the peak over here at 34.31. So watching AMD just to have something on my list. Again, pre-market action doesn't look great, but we know this AMD's MUs can really take a run. MU's typical, not looking great. Had a big day yesterday here, bouncing back. And someone mentioned this in the chat room, one of the members early this morning. It kind of looked like it had, you know, some kind of double bottom here in the daily, just kind of holding, finding support. You clearly see that support around 32.02, and it did. It held there, right? You kind of have like a not as clean, but double bottom in here, and it held, and you can see a nice, beautiful pop here. So MU right now, you are stuck between some levels. High of the pre-market sitting at 34.76. Low of the pre-market sitting around 34.44. Very close to the previous day close and the high from yesterday. So be on the lookout for those. If it can break out of this and continue, you have a nice level in here at 35.25. And another one up here around 35.98. So plenty of good clean levels. And then towards the bottom, you got the previous day close, the low of the pre-market. Then you got this moving average. I like this moving average here, actually 33.75. Could be a good area on the daily. All right, so that's MU. Facebook also had a beautiful day yesterday. I'm going to remove some of these lists we have here. Kind of stuck within some moving averages now. I'm not on some levels. I'm not going to add any more to it because you got the previous day close on here. You got the high from 2 days ago, which is very close to the high of the pre-market. You got the low from yesterday, very close to the low of the pre-market, and then you have the low from 2 days ago. So again, in this area here, you got plenty of levels. I don't need to add any more. Does not make it complicated, but I am going to mark down this moving average down here at 182.74 towards the bottom in case we jump out of this range. And then towards the top, we got a nice level here at 195. So let's see if it's what's going to do today. Again, I expect it's probably going to be choppy with the rest of the market. So we'll see how Facebook does today. Adobe here, ADBE, is nearing all-time highs. All-time highs in this area around 191, 291.95, I believe someone mentioned, or 291.71. So here's an all-time high. They have some earnings. They're looking really nice today. Let's look at the low of the pre-market, 287.12. Then towards the bottom, see if we can find another level. You got another level right in here around 284.65. You can clearly see several days using that as resistance. So plenty of levels towards the bottom after that if it continues to drop, but it looks like it's very strong this morning. Pre-market action doesn't look all too great. It also, Peter was mentioning he has some experience trading the stock. It doesn't trade as clean, so again, just be careful with this one. It also is a very higher price stock, so I'm personally not going to watch it. It's not in the criteria that I like to trade. But again, if you're comfortable with the type of price range, definitely watch Adobe today. It looks very interesting. Apple is probably, again, just very flat. A lot of these stocks opening up flat today as we expected it. It was going to be that type of week. Again, yesterday we got some really good moves that was unexpected. Hopefully he's able to take advantage of that. So Apple right now stuck within some ranges. Previous day close, high of yesterday. Got some highs, some low of yesterday, yesterday in here, and the high of 2 days ago as well, around 195. 195 is a very strong support and resistance level for Apple. Every time it gets around that area, either hesitates to look at here, sells up, or it hesitates to break through. So it broke through it a couple of days ago, and now the next possible level, if we can get above the high from yesterday. So looking in here, we got this one right in here, guys, and I'll tell you why I'm putting this level. Look at the rejection. Oh, that's too big. All right, look at the rejection right in here. Look at the rejection again. Once it breaks high, it definitely takes off. Look at this candle here. When it gets to this level, high sells up, right? So that 202.97 around that area, very clean support and resistance level for Apple. All right, so we have some lower stocks here that are lower priced, that are not really low flow. CALA. Again, I just don't like the daily chart. I'm not really liking how the pre-market action looks right now. SESN, also same thing. You had this sell-off here, but it's just any stock trading below $5. You want to be very careful with. This one has some good volume, 3.1 million shares traded. But again, something about the stock that I'm not liking. Again, it's not a low flow stock, but I'm not keen to look at this one. MLNN is the low flow stock of the day. This one is definitely moving with a lot of volume. So for the low flow team, we'll mark this one down. High of the pre-market, 448. We have the next level possibly right in this area here. Let's mark this one, 447, 487, and then another pop right over here at 559. Towards the bottom, in case we don't want to do a falling angel, we have a very clean level at 404. Look how this becomes support right in this area here, and then resistance on this day here as well. So again, 404 is very nice. Then you got some moving averages that are below here. We can mark down as well, 346. 3 is going to be an, again, any whole dollar on a price that's trading this low is important. So mark down 3 as well. All right, guys, again, be very careful. This is a low flow, 8 million shares flow, up 116% today with some really insane volume. They had a drug approval, I believe, was causing this pop. So again, just be careful with this one. All right, folks, so that is our list so far. Peter, anything else that we can add to this, remove or take or make better?
No, you've hit everything that I was looking at. So we'll see. This is going to be, I think, a scanner morning. We'll have to see what decides to pop up, because right now I don't see anything too exciting. Like we said, going into the Fed, we could see a little bit lower volume. People are going to be more hesitant. So I don't expect any huge moves. Hopefully we'll get something nice going on this morning.
Yep, I agree with that 100%. So let's look at some of the stuff you guys are throwing out here. So RTRX, the issue with this one is, first, the daily chart looks very, very nasty here. This is not a clean daily pattern at all. Again, every candle is just kind of overlapping the previous candle. You don't have a nice flow to it. And even the most obvious right now is just the volume. You really have no volume being traded in the pre-market action right now. So might not be a stock that is in play. All right, a couple that you're watching. Let's look at JBL. JBL has no volume right now, has an interesting daily chart, so I see why you're watching this one. It looks like it might want to continue here, breaking out. It is hitting some resistance here on this moving average, so be careful with that. What's the other one you have here? LZB. LZB also no volume, has a nice drop here, 6% down, but the volume is not really there. It could be a good possible for later in the morning. Also, again, guys, as we mentioned before, be aware of the 2 p.m. Eastern time today, around that time frame. When Powell starts talking, things can really move one way or the other. And if you're in a position that's close to your entry, you can really blow by that entry very, very fast. And on the opposite side too, don't chase those moves neither, because again, there's no strategy being traded. One thing I always tell people, you have to be able to answer a few questions before you take any trade. The first one is, what strategy am I trading? What's my risk to reward? And when you answer what's your risk to reward, you're going to answer what's your stop loss and what's your profit taking. If you cannot answer those two questions on any strategy, you should not be taking that trade. It's just simple as that. If you can answer what's the strategy you're trading, where's your risk to reward, you just don't take the trade. Simple as that. All right, this will avoid you from trying to chase moves and having that FOMO. Just put a sticky on your computer, on your monitor. You got to be able to answer those two questions very clearly and confident, right? Don't start making stuff up just to take a trade. All right, excellent, guys. So that is our list for today. Again, not great, guys. You want to be sure to be very cautious today. And we'll see what our scanners give us. So I'm definitely going to be looking at our scanners today, see what pops up in that area. All right. Peter, I think that's all for today.
Great. Well, hey, thanks, everybody. Safe trading. Be cautious out there, and hopefully we'll get some good moves that we can take advantage of. But don't force any trade, right? So this is one of those days where if you don't see what you're looking for, don't force a trade. There's no shame and no harm in having a no-trade day or waiting for your setups. So good luck out there. Be safe.
Excellent, guys. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern Time. Have a great trading day today.